Do you like it?
Like what?
The intro music.
Oh, yes. Yes. And that's what you do in improv. You always say yes and.
Oh, I've never done improv.
I know. Well, that's kind of what we're doing now.
A little bit.
So do I like the intro?
Bit.
Yes.
And I do too.
Exactly.
And
good. Welcome.
Yes, welcome. Okay, episode 2.
Ooh, what's the name of our podcast?
Pink Cheesecake podcast. Pink Cheesecake podcast.
Yes. Because why?
I don't know. We like pink cheesecake.
Yes.
I've never had pink cheesecake, but it sounds yummy.
Ooh, I know.
It's just something that sounds good.
I was thinking about that today. I thought, what does a pink cheesecake, what flavors could it be?
Yeah.
There are really only 2.
What?
Strawberry and cherry.
Yeah.
And wouldn't that be the best cheesecake ever?
Like a marble, like.
Even if it was filled with pink artificial dye, I don't care. As long as it was pink and it was cheesecake.
And it tasted yummy.
I don't care what kind of chemicals they put in it to make it pink.
Yeah.
I would be very happy.
I like the classic, like just plain cheesecake with strawberries. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I have to have cherries. Okay, well, again, anything to make it pink.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you drink with your cheesecake?
Well, I think like a black coffee sounds really good with
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes. But then I remember the days that we like pink champagne.
We do. Yeah.
With our pink cheesecake.
Yes.
Is the best combination.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
I would savor that.
Back to savoring.
I would savor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But cheesecake is designed to be savored. Think about it. You can't just.
No, it's so rich.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not a fast eating treat.
No.
It's a slow melt.
There's so much meaning to our name now.
I know.
Wow. I like where you're going.
Do you like what I'm, what are you picking up what I'm dropping down?
I am.
Oh my gosh. Is that how you say it?
Picking up. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Our sponsor is really going to dislike this particular part of our podcast. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? I think.
I never say it. I don't know. I don't say that.
I'm Stacey Lee. I am Madison's mom. Madison, you are almost 27.
Yep.
Just so we should age ourselves, so that's why we don't know the hottest lingo. She should.
I don't think that's what's considered the hottest lingo.
No, like 25 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Picking up what you're putting down.
I
don't even know if that's correct. I've literally never said it. I think I've never said it because I don't know how it goes.
I think we should always say it wrong. I think we should say it more.
Are you picking up what
what I dropped on the floor? Did you just pick up that crumb that I dropped on the floor under the table?
Oh my gosh.
It's under the table. No, it's under the chair now. No, not there. Over to the right. Over.
And this is why Mac is like ready to just about. I don't know how he's
Will you clean up what I
right
spilled?
Now.
Ooh, does that work? Are you cleaning up what I spilled? Because I need someone to clean that up. Okay, see, this is pure improv, Madison, because we did not prepare this.
No, actually, we haven't prepared this episode much at all.
No.
I kind of know what I want to talk about, and you know what you want to talk about, but they might not be exactly the same.
Okay, so go right ahead. She's the host. I'm just the co-host.
No. We'll talk about what you want to talk about, because I want to talk about yoga.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fond of yoga, or as they say across, I fancy yoga.
Oh my God.
I also like to do fancy yoga.
What is fancy yoga? Oh. Is that a thing? It is not.
I made it up.
Oh,
well, I'm sure somebody else made it up.
I don't know. I want to Google it.
Fancy? Don't Google it.
You should come up with it. You should have fancy yoga.
Oh my God.
I bet people would be like, "Oh my God, I would pay extra for fancy yoga." People would be like, "What's fancy yoga?"
When I started yoga 6.5 years ago,
I love this idea. Yeah.
So it is fancy yoga for me. Okay. Yoga is fancy to me because I fell so head over heels in love with yoga that every time I went to a class at the beginning, I would always wear my best makeup, my best earrings, my best jewelry, because I was like dating yoga. Like I wanted to be my best on my yoga mat, yoga mat and God, because I met God on my yoga mat again. I already knew God, but I met him in a different way. So I was kind of a fancy yoga person. Mm-hmm. And then when I teach a yoga class, I always like to wear long dangly earrings and make sure my hair is done and my makeup's done and that I look kind of cute and fancy because I think yoga deserves that. Not silly.
I've never
I don't know if people who run think that. Maybe they do. I've never asked anybody else about this.
I've never heard of it.
But again, we all like the way we look. That's why there are so many athletic lines of clothing.
Yeah.
So many yoga pants.
Look a certain way depending on what you. Yeah. Like some people like to just wear all black. Like that's their look,
right?
And that's what they like. But
Even
a lot of people
swimmer.
Put certain effort into how they present themselves.
But fancy yoga is. I like the.
Yeah.
Okay. Yoga is so big and broad. There's so much. So when I talk about nuggets of yoga, they're really just teeny tiny. They're not the whole definition of yoga. So if I say something like fancy yoga is, I really like the posing of yoga.
Yeah.
Okay. True yogis are going to be like, that's not what yoga's about, is the posing. Well, I know that's not what yoga's about, but it's part of yoga is posing, and I'm an actress and I like to pose.
Okay. Yeah.
But yoga really isn't about.
No, it's maybe about like mindfulness.
It is. It's a quite
and kind of
It's
quieting
a heavy,
yourself
serious, meditative situation. But if we put a Stacey Lee spin on it, we're gonna have purple hair and jewelry, and we're gonna do a ta-da as I do an arm balance pose for Instagram.
Yes,
because I like that.
Right. Yeah, it's like your own little spin on it.
It's my flavor.
Yeah.
Can't I say that?
Yeah.
It's my own yoga flavor. Mm-hmm. My yoga flavor would be pink. I don't know what that tastes like, but okay.
Yeah.
So, what did you want to ask about yoga? Because there's so much.
I don't know.
To talk about.
Yeah. I think maybe like, why did you go to a yoga class?
I went to a yoga class because I was taking adult ballet class.
Why did you take adult ballet class?
I was 45 years old and all my kids were older, and I've always loved ballet since I was little. And I thought, I want to do ballet again. It was pretty simple. So I went to an adult ballet class at a studio in my town, and then that studio closed. And I thought, now what do I do? Oh, I think I've heard of something called yoga. That seems like dancing on your yoga mat. And then I found
posing on your yoga mat.
Well, it's the ta-da factor. It's a girl needs a stage kind of thing. And I went to yoga and fell in love with it. And I felt as beautiful as dancing, is learning how to move my body in that way. And then, of course, all the benefits of the mindfulness and the breath and the calm and the quiet and all of the control that you have at the exact same time you're surrendering control. That's the
I think that's what I have a really hard time with, not to interrupt you.
No, please.
But when I started taking yoga classes after you like fell in love with it, I was so wrapped up in getting the pose right. Like I don't like just go along with your breath. I'm like, no, there's a right and wrong way to do it. Oh. Like I have to do it right. Right. Like I learned music and that's the way the notes say. I interpret the music in a certain way. Like, I mean, sometimes my piano teacher would tell me, okay, slow down here. And then I'd do it. And then I'd go home and play it the way, I'd want to. But yeah, for the most part, it's like math. It's like, okay, this is the right way. This is the wrong way. So for yoga, I was like, oh, I can't do the pose right. So I guess I don't get the pose right. And then well, maybe the next time. And then, well, I'm not breathing right and I'm not following the breath. And then I would I just couldn't. But there was one class out of like, I don't know how many I did, where I actually followed my breath and it was really good.
The magic of yoga.
Really, really good. And I wasn't 100% following the instructor because but that's kind of what she wants. She's like, go with your flow, but everyone was following her. But I wasn't exactly because like my breath was different from their breath. So it's not always the same. So it's an odd like way to instruct. But then I also like tried not to, like during that class, I was just very focused on keeping my eyes closed and not just listening to her voice instead of watching other people.
Right.
And it was really good.
Right.
Really good. And I was like, that's the way a yoga class should be, I think.
Okay. And since you just brought that up about looking at other people.
Yeah.
So how many women don't go to a yoga class? Well, yeah, because they're afraid of being judged.
Yeah.
I've never been in a yoga studio where I ever felt judged or felt like anyone else was judging me.
Yeah, that's good.
Ever.
Yeah. But I think it's a lot in our minds. Like it's definitely in our minds.
Talk about
another annoying feature of the mind. Like our minds tell us certain things that really are not true. Like our intuitions aren't always.
No, our perceptions are not. But that goes along with yoga. They talk a lot about letting go of your ego, because what you were describing of making sure your poses were correct, that was your ego speaking. And that is the
I didn't want to be wrong. I did not want to be wrong.
There is no wrong.
Yeah.
You've seen the meme, which drives me nuts, but it's true. It's not about touching your toes. It's about the journey down to your toes.
Yeah, which is right.
It's a little corny for me, but it is true.
Yeah.
This is why when I instruct a class, I always say, move the way your body wants to move.
Yeah.
Move the way your breath, and that breath work takes a lot of practice. A lot. I mean, I think it might have been a year before I finally understood a full inhale down into my belly and then a full exhale back out through my nose and found that rhythm. It took me a long time because you have to train your brain. Otherwise, we'll just go back into that automatic, instinctual chest breathing. That's how we live.
Yeah. I taught a little bit of that in vocal class too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd have everyone lay down. All my students would lay down. And then you could see You
were doing yoga while you were teaching music.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But if you don't practice that and build up that diaphragm muscle, and my students know I'm really nerdy about the diaphragm. I love the diaphragm. No, like I get really excited about the diaphragm muscle because it does so much, because it helps your posture. It helps your shoulders go down and back. It elongates your spine. It tightens up your ab muscles. You get more space in your... I am a diaphragm nerd. Hashtag... Our sponsor would like that one too. Diaphragm nerd. Yeah. I love the breath now.
Yeah.
I think I always did.
Yeah.
It's part of the beauty of yoga to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So get out of your chest, get down into your belly. I like the heaviness of yoga because it's significant. Isn't that kind of corny to say?
What makes it significant?
Being heavy is significant.
Okay.
Allowing yourself to surrender to the point, sitting in this chair or on a yoga mat or anywhere you are, and to completely surrender and get heavy, that's significant. How often do you consciously get heavy?
I don't know.
No, because as women, we
sit
think
up straight and
we think, well, we need to be light and we need to be airy and we need to be kind of willowy or what?
Willowy. No, it's true. Yeah.
How often do we get heavy and feel secure? So that's why I think it's significant. And I'll even take that a step further. And it's important.
Okay.
Part of that, yoga's big. It's part of being present where you are. So right now with you, I want to be 100% present.
Yep.
So I'm going to tell my brain, I'm going to be heavy in this chair. And I'm really going to feel heavy. And that's going to feel significant. So and it's going to solidify my importance of being here.
Okay. But is that something that you kind of learned? Is that
yes, that's so not natural. You learn that with good yoga instructors should guide you through those steps. And then time, experience, and then learning your own flavor, getting to know your own body, your own brain, learning how to train yourself. Because as a teacher, I can't really train you how to use your diaphragm. I can give you suggestions.
Right.
You ultimately, as I say you're the boss of your own breath. You're the boss of your own body and the boss of your own brain. So over time, you learn how to cue yourself. So I've learned how to cue my own breathing. Does that make sense? Yeah. It can get kind of, hippy dippy.
No, I think it goes back into exactly what we talked about last episode about teaching your brain things and teaching your body.
Let's talk about that, because what have I said to you guys since you were the boss of your brain?
Sometimes.
You only think sometimes you're the boss of your brain?
I mean, I think that you have certain struggles where you're not always the boss of your brain. You struggle with different things.
Yes. You can struggle, but ultimately...
Hormonal?
Hormonal, right? That's a whole different...
You can kind of go, hey, I'm having some issues here, and then deal with that. But, you're not always the boss of everything. You can't... Not always.
Okay.
99% of the time, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Because I will say to you, when you call me, I'll say, flip it. Be the boss of your brain. Don't let your brain tell you.
But you have to have the tools to do that. And that's why this class is so interesting, because you have to
tell me about this class again, just for the viewers who maybe didn't check in.
So it's the Yale class. It's called The Science of Wellbeing. And it is all about, it's your well-being and your happiness, finding your happiness.
Science of Wellbeing. Okay.
And so it talks about a little bit about the brain and how the brain just isn't really always on your side. The brain is a being, I guess. We have to teach it things, which I think we all kind of know that, even with children. That's why it's easier for children to learn and everything. But anyway, one of the things that we were talking about was, being in the moment, savoring things, finding joy and finding happiness in the mundane things where our minds just get used to things, and we are just living our day-to-day life, and we're used to the car, used to our jobs, used to our relationships and whatever. But how do we find joy, and how do we make those a little bit more interesting and more exciting, and find happiness in those things, and have that feeling of happiness? Because I think we all want that. That's why we buy things. That's why we go on vacations. That's why we do anything.
The pursuit of happiness.
The pursuit of, we are always we're craving that.
Yeah.
And sometimes to a fault, absolutely. People we make mistakes because we're craving that so badly. And it's I shouldn't have done that. So how do we find that daily? And I think that's huge in yoga. That's just savoring, being in the moment, mindfulness, gratefulness, all of that stuff.
And a lot of people, but a lot of people, everyone, maybe yoga isn't their joy.
Yeah.
Maybe they just come to a yoga class because they know it's good for their bodies, or they like the studio or the instructor. But, but for me, it is pure joy. It's like dance for me.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't do a lot of things. We talked about this before, that I don't want to do.
Yeah, me neither.
Running,
which I'm so glad about.
Aren't you?
I'm so glad we've decided
I know that running is really good for you. Oh, but wait a minute. I don't even know if I know that.
Ugh.
I would never run ever unless there was a bear. Ever. Honestly, if you see me running,
I would probably sneak away and hide before I would run from the bear anyway.
Or let it just eat you, because why
I don't want to run.
I'm not going to run.
No. But some people love it.
So just like me, loves yoga.
Love it.
Yeah, those runners, man.
I know, they're hardcore.
Hardcore. I know some runners. They're really decent people. I really like them. But
they're decent people.
Don't take it personally. How they abuse their bodies like that, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But then some people would think me being not me. Oops. Ego. Other people being really flexible is abusing their body,
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And so runners, I would assume.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a topic we know nothing about. We should not talk about.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about running. We don't know anything about it.
That was weird.
Improv. But no, just like people finding joy in things.
Okay.
Like I found more joy in playing the piano or like playing music with people than like anything. And so then I just did that a lot.
And you were homeschooled by me. So you had the opportunity for 10 hours a day.
It was never 10. Like you change it like
10 hours
6 hours a day,
no.
8 hours a day.
It is not a fish story.
10 hours a day.
No. 10 hours a day.
How would you change it every time? I think. There's no way I could play for 10 hours a day.
Over a 24-hour period of time, you definitely played the piano for 10 hours a day. Yes.
I don't think that's a lot.
Okay, maybe it was 8.
I mean, I remember sitting at the piano a lot, but I don't know if it was that much.
So you were able, is what I'm saying, growing up, you were able to live
there
your
was just
joy.
Nothing better than that. Like nothing.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That you get to have that. And
so now that I don't have a piano, right? I haven't like sat down and played for a long time. I've found that I like really enjoy other things, or that I've
you have substitutes to that joy.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, here and there. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of
what is your substitute for joy? I mean, I get to do yoga. It's all that requires is my body and a floor. I don't need anything.
Yeah.
Or you can do it anywhere.
One day I was like craving the piano so much that I YouTubed my favorite, like the piece that I played for my senior recital. And it was a Chopin mazurka. And oh my gosh, I just wanted to play it so badly. I was like feeling so angsty. I was feeling so Enneagram 4 that day, like so just like in my feelings. And I was like, oh, if I could just like play this song, it would just be so satisfying.
Aww.
So I YouTubed it and I watched other people play it.
And that helped you?
It did, but I was like really nervous because I thought, are they going to play it the way I play it?
Oh.
You know, like some piano players like play it really fast, or they are not very as expressive. And so I found like 3 and I was like holding my breath the whole time.
So it seems stressful.
No. It was just funny. I mean, it ended up working out because they played it very well.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
The YouTube was high enough quality of your Chopin piece?
I found somebody from the 80s who could play it very well. And
somebody from the 80s.
I don't know. But they played it really well. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is okay. But I still wanted to play. But
funny.
Anyway, that's just a side note. But
okay.
No, I find like creativity like this. Like I just think creativity in general.
Yeah, you are a creator for sure.
Yeah, like
yes.
And I love making like lesson plans, and I either like, even if it's learning or teaching, it doesn't matter. I love learning or teaching. But it kind of has to be something I want to learn about.
Well, and that's
obviously.
funny because I like to learn and teach also.
Yes.
We are very similar that way.
And what else do I find joy in?
You like to paint.
I like to paint. But I also don't like when I'm bad at it. So I
well, like nobody likes it when they're bad at it.
Like it's every once in a while I'll paint something cool and then I'll be like, all right, that's
you just
good.
Painted a huge scene on your son's bedroom wall.
Oh, that was fun. That was really fun.
A huge
like
bedroom wall, a mountain scene.
Yeah, that was cool.
Almost freehand. Well, you did it freehand.
No, I mean, you taped it up. It's like there was no skill involved.
I would have never been able to do that.
It was time consuming, but it was cool. That was fun. But I don't know. But I think the thing that brings me most joy, which isn't like really good, I think it's good for my soul, I guess, but like not my body. But just like talking to people and like making connections.
I know.
That's like literally my favorite thing.
Okay, so when she says that, she's true because I talk to her every single day on the phone when she goes through the Mocha coffee drive-through before work every day.
Yeah,
this girl can talk to the Mocha drive-up girls. Or
guys.
Sorry. Forever to buy one coffee. There's so much joy bubbling out of her car.
Well, if you're going to talk to somebody, you're going to talk to them. You're not just going to be like, yeah.
But most people do.
Yeah, I know, but that's not me.
Not me either. If I go through the McDonald's, and yes, I do go to McDonald's. # no shame. I do like a McDonald's Coke. Anyway, I always like to talk to the McDonald's people, but McDonald's people love my hair. They're really funny. No other drive-through comments on my hair as much as McDonald's.
That's funny.
No, they're the only, I love your hair. And because they're jealous because they say they can't dye their hair that color at McDonald's.
Oh, really? For their job?
Sad. Yeah.
Oh.
McDonald's won't let them be creative.
Interesting.
I know. But anyway, back to Joy, talking to people. I feel you. I get it. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And if we can bring a smile to someone's faces.
Or just even like some sort of like connection, some sort of like, oh, you too?
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, yes. I know.
You love that.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really do like to talk to other people. And I have been able to adapt that into Facebook and Instagram. I don't have Twitter, and I'm too old for
Twitter.
Snapchat. But I can develop the same kinds of relationships and interactions through Instagram and Facebook, even just through text. I have so many amazing Instagram friends that I've never shared air with. I've made a joke. Never seen their eyes. Shared the same room air with. Yeah. But I consider close friends over 4 or 5 years of just communicating through Instagram. That's amazing. So, yeah. What else do we have in our And Yes podcast today besides Joy? Anything else in your notes?
Or And Yes with our
And
improv.
Yes.
That was your. I was going to ask you some buzz questions because I know that you love.
Oh, the buzz questions. Well, that's what it sounds like to me. Is there another? What does that mean? Buzz questions.
I don't know. Isn't that a thing?
BuzzFeed is a thing, but again, I'm old. I don't know.
You're not old though. I think you just sometimes. You're not old.
I forget things.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve. Do we have time?
You say that. Yeah.
Chalk. 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 The chalk. All chalk should not exist. I hate chalk.
It's pretty bad.
It's disgusting
it is
to look
bad.
at.
It's pretty bad.
Touch, smell, lick, anything to do with chalk.
Touch, smell, and lick.
I don't even like to look at chalk. I don't care. Oh! I'm getting a little shudder of chalk.
Yeah, chalk is pretty bad.
Is everyone screaming why? Just think about it, okay? Use your head. Think about your experiences with chalk and tell me why chalk needs to exist. Okay.
Next
and I don't care that little kids like to write on their sidewalk. Figure something else.
I just can't. I'm like feeling it under my fingernails.
Give them some paint.
Okay.
Give them some paint.
Yes.
Go on. Chalk is my biggest pet peeve.
Yes.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Do you think like crayons go? Because crayons drive me nuts.
You can't say that word. You can't say it.
Crayons?
Crayons.
Oh, no. Crayons. Crayons.
No, crayons.
How did I learn how to speak?
I don't know. Like you came from a different state. Crayons. How did you even say that?
How did you? I've said it my entire life.
No, crayons.
Crayons? No.
Say it. Say it like me.
They're crayons.
Crayons.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Those drive me nuts. When I was a kid, I was like, I would literally choose not to use crayons because I don't like them.
What did you prefer? Markers.
Yes.
Oh, you guys
magic
had to have
markers.
Yeah, crayons. You were not a fan.
No.
And colored pencils.
Ooh, also bad. What? Also bad.
Yeah, but they're not like chalk.
No, nothing's that bad.
Nothing is that.
But I think it's like chalk, colored pencils.
Well, if we're in the art
crayons.
medium right now.
Watercolors.
I like watercolors.
No, they also are bad.
Okay. What's your biggest pet peeve, Madison?
I don't know. I can't really.
You're
I have
asking
a
me?
lot of them. I literally have so many.
We'll do
of
a
them.
whole episode on her pet peeves.
Go. A lot of things drive me nuts. They're small, but why is it so many things drive me nuts?
You're intolerant.
Yeah, I'm just very like
picky.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm very passionate about having things work out in certain ways.
Yes, you are.
And if things do not work out in certain ways,
you like to live in a square.
I do. Yeah. This is my favorite question.
Oh no, I'm scared. I'm really scared. I don't know what it is.
I love how I just wrote random ones down. Are you an athlete?
What? Why are you laughing so hard?
I don't know.
What is the definition
Because
of
it has nothing to do with what we're talking about at all. It's just, are you an athlete? And it's funny because you're not, right?
I can do a chaturanga.
Okay,
I can do
yeah,
a lot
suppose,
of chaturangas. Look it up if you don't know.
I see an athlete as like
I can do plank for a really long time. I can athlete. I can dance and I can yoga.
Okay, well then
I can throw my leg up on a kitchen counter
Okay.
and do some really good calf work.
Okay.
I am a fancy athlete.
Who was your first?
I'm a fancy athlete.
Who was
Uh-oh.
your very first
Uh-oh, I'm so scared.
celebrity crush?
Oh, Sean Cassidy.
Yeah.
Yes. Sean Cassidy.
Was he the
Did you run,
cutie?
run? Did you run, run? I think that was a cover, obviously. I was in 4th grade, and he was actually my first concert I went to.
Aww,
My dad bought
cute.
Jill and I tickets to go see Sean Cassidy somewhere.
Jill,
in
your friend Jill?
Minneapolis. My friend Jill, my BFF in 4th grade. Jill, and we went, and we were
Shout out to Jill.
I don't know where Jill is now. Anyway, we sat in the way back, and it was a Sunday night. And I remember coming home from the concert really late on a Sunday night and listening to Casey Kasem's Top 40 radio. It only came on Sunday night, so I'm really dating myself. But Sean Cassidy, I had his poster in my room, and I had his album, like big album cover, and he had great feathered hair. Yep. Go. Next question.
Well, don't you want to know mine?
Well, yes, I thought it was only this. I thought it was only a one way. Go. What is you? Who's your celebrity crush?
Who do you think? Do you know? Like my very first one. Do you know the story?
Pa Ingalls?
No. What? I didn't just like automatically like the
Michael
dads.
Landon?
No. Although I had a friend who that was her first, but that's not mine. Not Pa. It would probably be like
it
Monza. No.
I'm gonna cry. It wasn't Nellie's little brother.
No, Willie.
Really? Madison loved Little House on the Prairie.
I did, but it wasn't because I had a crush
Obsessed.
on any of them. I just wanted to be Laura Ingalls.
Okay, go. I really want your first crush to be Pa Ingalls
No.
so bad. Okay, who was it that I don't know?
So much cuter.
Oh.
Heath Ledger.
Oh, gosh. Yes, Heath Ledger.
Yes.
He died.
I know, it's so
hard.
sad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know, it just kind of brings the mood down.
Oh, I didn't
Heath
mean that.
Heath Ledger died.
Okay, but he was so
tragic
cute. I know. Well,
thing.
I'm sorry. That's my answer. Like he's cute.
It
And he
can
was
be
cute.
your answer. I
And
accept
I
it. There's
saw-
nothing wrong in improv.
I saw him on the TV because they were playing the Patriot on like whatever channel.
Oh, you love the
one
Patriot.
Sunday afternoon.
Oh, you love
And
it.
I saw it, and I saw him, and I was like, who is that? And I was like, I was young, like I was like in 5th or 6th grade.
That's
and
too young.
Well, no, but you were like,
I know. Go.
you were like not letting us watch like a lot of like those gory, like maybe rated R, obviously. So I like begged you to watch this, whatever the movie was called, and it was The Patriot, and it's like my number 2 favorite movie.
I know, it's a great movie.
But it's a lot of has to do with the American Revolutionary. Like
I know.
it's really not even like it's a bonus that he's in it, but like I just love the movie.
Yeah, we go from crush right into deep American history. That's how we roll here. Okay, go on. So Heath Ledger, yes.
Yeah, so
cutie.
he was my first.
Cutie pie.
Yeah. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
Well, I don't like food anymore. That's a new development in my life. In the last,
Yeah, that was weird. That's weird
year,
turn of events.
Yeah, just I don't like any kind of food anymore at all. I still like key lime pie. I like cheesecake. I like anything flavored with lemon.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I need to cross the street for any of that anymore. I don't crave it enough that I need any kind of effort put in to get any of that food.
Yeah.
I just, if it
It's just
shows
there.
up, if the key lime
Is this
pie
a hint
shows,
for people to come and drop off?
Yes, always.
Lemon drop.
Yeah, I used to love garlicky, chewy, cheesy pizza.
Oh, that's like me. I love it.
I know
Oh my
you
gosh,
do, and
it's
I did
so
at your age,
good.
too.
It's so good.
I don't really have a favorite food right now, so I'd have to go back to that.
Well, you just listed a bunch.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
That's a flavor. I feel like I have a favorite flavor more than a favorite food.
I see.
Okay, what's yours?
Probably just like spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Well,
Spaghetti.
spaghetti is my favorite food.
It is your favorite food.
It is and always will be.
I've seen you take down a plate or two of spaghetti. No, I mean that.
I've seen you. You don't say that.
I've seen you vacuum up a plate of spaghetti.
You cannot say that.
I know I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
What you meant to say was that you were such a wonderful daughter and you would come over and make spaghetti for your father every Thursday night, and I would see you enjoy a plate of spaghetti.
I saw the passion that you took on that plate of spaghetti with passion. Pure joy. Let's go back to joy. Pure
I was
joy.
experiencing some pure joy while I was eating that spaghetti.
Yes, you were. Yes, and you did make it for our family every
Yes,
Thursday.
and my son was like screaming. He wanted to bite. He wanted to bite. He wanted to bite. Back to 3-year-olds. That's another podcast.
No, that's not where we're. Are you done with the buzz questions?
Yeah, we're all done.
Oh,
we have anything
shout
else?
out! You do the shout out today.
The last shout out was so good though. I can't like top that one. But basically the main shout out is to my brother Mac Holm.
Yeah, to Mac, always brother, right here. My bro son, my last born, my baby boy. Who lives at home.
See, you do the shout outs way better than I could.
I don't.
Yeah, you do.
He is the peanut butter of our family. He keeps us all together.
I thought you were going to say like jelly or something.
No, he's the peanut
family.
butter. He's the stick.
Yeah, he is.
Everybody checks in with Mac. Mac checks in with everybody.
Yep.
If anybody's going to bypass anybody, everybody goes through Mac. Mm-hmm. And without Mac, Cheesecake Podcast would not be here.
Absolutely
without
not.
his support
Yep.
and unfailing dedication and belief in us. Madison, he really believes in us.
Do you think it's the belief that really
Drives it.
Yeah, it's kind of the key.
It's the engine that drives this podcast is Mac's belief in us. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mac. Thank you.